Hello everyone, this is Dale Cantrell with Marieville Holiness Church. I've come to you with another sermon video today. I'm going to be in Genesis 21, 14 through 21, I believe, in the King James Version of the Bible. And it reads, "And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat down over against him a good way off, as it were a bowshot, for she said, Let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him, and lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven, and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, however how you pronounce it, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt." That was the bondwoman. Somebody might be trying to figure out how to get blessed and favored, and I'm going to try to help you out if I can. God's got a timing. In 2 Corinthians 10:12, he says, "For we dare not make of ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves. But they measuring by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise." You need a shall down in your spirit, not a hope or a might or whatever. Hope, so you need a shall. And God has got those kind of promises to us. When we do what he requires us to do, we can look for a shall. You don't have to bless yourself, promote yourself. When the time is right, it shall happen. In fact, I think you have an appointment with a blessing. Nobody will get credit for you but God. Nobody you thought about will bless you, because if they blessed you, you would have to praise them instead of God. You can only be awesome when it's your season. Everything's got a season. When God gives you the nod, when he gives you the okay, then you don't have to be jealous or intimidated by anyone else. You can just do what God has intended for you to do. You don't have to worry about someone else getting what you have and stay up all night worrying about losing it. Nothing like that. It's for you. And for some folks, it's not really tickled about you being blessed. By the time some folks figure out that you're blessed, it's too late for them to stop it. It'll already be in motion. Nothing anybody can do about it. Most people are happy about your blessings. I try to be happy. I think I'm happy for other people's blessings. But there will be those people that they think that the only way that they can make their light shine is to blow your candle out. You can't walk with God if you're not willing to change. He's wanting to do a new thing in you. God is wanting to write you a new page and write you a new chapter, but you keep holding on to yesterday and won't change. You keep holding on to that same dead things, like the man with the demons in the 5th chapter of Mark. He was living in the past. He was living among tombs. We seem like sometimes we erect a monument to the hurts that we've had in the past. Just let them go. Ain't it funny how God can bless you with so little, so much? Abraham found himself bound to the bondwoman. The same woman who said, "Bring her in," said, "Throw her out." It reminds you, it's like Jesus. The same ones, they put palm leaves and had him on a colt. They were saying Hosanna to the King. And maybe some of those same people said crucify him at the end. People will change on you sometimes. Old people used to be able to tell the season by looking at the leaves. The leaves doesn't change the season, but it's just an indication of the change. Whenever you can change your attitude, it's an indication that God's getting ready to usher you into a new season. We see Abraham packing a lunch and water. It says, you and the child must go. That's what the devil wants. He's after your baby. He's after your future. He's after your destiny. He's after your gift. And you can't get to your season without change. If you're listening to this and you're not willing to change, if you keep doing the same things you've always been doing, if you keep thinking the same things you've been thinking, you'll keep doing the same things you've been doing. And if you keep doing the things you've always been doing, you'll keep getting what you've always been getting. When the light shines in the tent, we see the man of God stomping around in the kitchen, packing a lunch. It's not you so much that the enemy wants to kill, but he wants to kill that seed within you that can help somebody else, future generations. The enemy's after your future, your shall be. Somebody in here has been living off of lunch money. It's not your real blessing. It's just lunch money. God, we just sometimes settle for lunch money when God owns the cattle of 1,000 hills or whatever it said. It's like Ruth. Ruth happened on the field of Boaz, and Boaz saw her, and he instructed his people to leave her handfuls of blessings. And she could have got satisfied with that. That was better than what she had. But she married Boaz and wound up owning the field. So that's the way we are sometimes, children of God. I'm trying to tell you about lunch money. We get satisfied with lunch money when God has so much more. If you say unto yourself, the Lord's blessed me. He blessed me the other night. Keep going. Don't get satisfied in that. Just keep going. There's more where that came from. It's those levels I talk about with that example of me and my grandson in Nintendo. Your real blessing hasn't come yet. It's just lunch money to tide you over till the real blessing comes. The real blessing's in the mail. The check's in the mail. Just keep doing what you know to do, and God is He's faithful. All people can ever give you is lunch money. God has to give you more than that. We give each other what tides us over, but God can give us. He can give us what we need. It's not supposed to be you, because you're not God. It's not supposed to be me. I'm not God. I can only give you enough to help you to God's next blessing. Don't worry about the lunch money. Quit fighting and arguing over the lunch money. He has more than lunch money. God does. He's got the crops and everything that belong to God. Somewhere out there, God's got what you need. What men can give you will never be enough. I was thinking about this lunch money. My mother, I was in the second grade, I believe. I believe lunch cost 20 cents. It might have been a quarter, but I believe it was 20 cents. And I was small. I started school when I was 5, so I was a grade ahead. So when I was in the second grade, it'd be like a child in the first grade. And so my mother would send me to school with 2 dimes for lunch money. And and I guess she was afraid I was going to lose it. And she would take those 2 dimes, and she had a little handkerchief. Looked like, best I remember, like a child's handkerchief. She put those 2 dimes in there, and she would tie it in not a real tight knot, but just a loose knot. And I would stick it in my pocket. And when I got to school, I guess when you got in the line or that morning, the teacher took it up before lunch. I can't remember how that was. But I just hand them that, and they'd open it up and give me my handkerchief back. The next day we'd do it all over again. Mother was giving me lunch money. And God's got lunch money. But, it's like I was talking about bold prayers before. You could say, Lord, help me to have enough. Just help me to have enough, Lord. Get by. Or you could say, Lord, help me. You can pray a bold prayer. Not only, Lord, help me to have enough that I can get by, but I can have enough to share with somebody else that's less fortunate than I am. I hope you see my point in this, and I hope it helps you. I care about you. I love you very much, and I make these with the greatest of intentions. I sure hope you don't take them wrong. But anyway, I'm going to give you my number, 256-508-4410. If you need me, call me, and I might not get back to you right away, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you would leave me a message so I can know what it is you need, and I can be trying to come up with it before I give you a call back. So may God bless you until we do this again.